Welcome to our first fall concert of the 2021-2022 school year. Tonight's concert is going to feature three groups: Junior Jazz Band, our string orchestra under the direction of Mr. Shinnis, and our senior wind ensemble. We hope you enjoy.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. This is so cool. This is so cool. So good to see all of you tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Good evening. Welcome to everyone and everyone watching at home to our first, fall concert and our first concert of the 21-22 school year. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're performing on the Stolo unceded territory of the Palalt, Chowayak, and Samath people. We're going to open tonight with our Junior Jazz Band here on stage in front of you. Junior Jazz Band is made up predominantly of students in grade 9s and 10s. We do have some seniors that are taking a course called Instrumental Survey, playing a secondary instrument or a third instrument that are joining us. This group, it is a class, but they meet outside the timetable. I see them every Monday after school until 4 p.m. I see them every Wednesday morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 7 a.m. Thank you, parents, that get your kids here for 7 a.m. I appreciate it. And we're going to start off with a funk tune by a Canadian composer, Vince Gassi. This is Reboot. You have no idea how nice it is to hear applause. It was great. It was great to stream last year and perform concerts last year in the octet system, but it is super weird when you just finish this epic piece and you know you played so well and then there's just silence. Nothing. So that was fantastic. That featured two soloists. That featured Rain Brisson on alto sax and Isaac Richtowski on trumpet. The Count Basie Orchestra was one of the top jazz bands in the 30s, 40s, 50s, even into the 60s and 70s. And they're recordings I always go to with the kids. Like, let's listen to Basie, because that's how you did it. Jive at 5 was written by Count Basie and his trumpet player, Harry Edison. And it's going to feature Nick Guns on alto sax, Alexis Helgeson on trombone, and Isaac Richtausi again on trumpet. This is Count Basie's Jive at 5. We have one more selection for you this morning before we turn it over to Mr. Shinnis and the string orchestra. If the Count Basie Band was one of the top bands in the 30s and 40s, the Duke Ellington Orchestra was the other one. Two fantastic big bands from that era, went sort of different ways in the 50s and 60s. But this piece, Take the A-Train, was written by Billy Strayhorn, who was the writer for the Ellington Orchestra for many years and really good friends with Duke Ellington. And it became sort of their theme song. So they played it at the end of every set. We're going to close out our concert with it. This is Billy Strayhorn's Take the A-Train, featuring short solos by Nick Guns on alto sax and Cadence Pickering on trumpet. Thank you. Fourth row, right-hand side. Sorry? We're going to get that pushed out of the way here, yeah. Yeah. Gotta just
I came in. The real reason I came at that time is I forgot my jacket, so I had to go out and get it. So apologize for that. As probably Mr. Monkman has explained, it's been so long since we've done concerts, and I think we've forgotten a lot of things how to do, but we couldn't be here with a better audience, so we're really thankful. We're really thankful for that. So it is just great to have this orchestra. One thing that always adds to our orchestra is that we have international students that join us. So we've got 3 students from Germany that have joined us, and really adds so much. So we're really grateful. 4, pardon me. 4. They're just taking over. Those Germans.
All right.
I'm sorry. Man, oh man. I'm feeling a little more uncomfortable than I thought I was. Anyway, we're going to play a variety of music. First of all, I'm just thrilled to have every student that is here, and love our international students. They've always added so much to our program. And we're going to play 4 very different types of things. The first one is a fiddle tune. Fiddle tune is a very distinct type of sound, and you'll hear particularly the violins and play double stops, 2 strings at the same time, playing very fiddle type of music. That's a great warm-up for us. And then our second song that we do is more in the style of Bach. It's a modern American composer that has taken some of the same harmonies, some of the same ideas, and we'll hear all sorts of passion coming out of that. So those are our first 2 songs that we're going to do. This is the first one called Fiddles on Fire. decided that when he wrote it, he sat down with with George Martin, I believe that it was their manager, who had a degree in music, and said, we'd like some string things going on. And he said, what do you mean by that? Well, you know, some of those bigger strings and some of those smaller strings. The poor kid from Liverpool really didn't know what they were, but he knew what he wanted to hear. And they created what I think is an absolutely gorgeous piece of music, Eleanor Rigby, written for strings. And whenever we studied this piece with the orchestra, I would say, okay, listen for when the guitars come in. Oh, they don't come in, do they? Well, listen for when the drums come in. Oh, they don't come in. It's all strings as they played it with the Beatles. So we're going to do Eleanor Rigby. The last piece we're going to play was a very favorite with the orchestra 2 years ago when we actually got to perform. And it's from a piece of music called The Planets, written by an English composer named Gustav Holst. And he set music to all the different planets, giving them characteristics and ideas. And it was so interesting. This was at the turn of into the 20th century, so over 100 years ago. And when John Williams sought to write the music for Star Wars, he borrowed very heavily from this piece of music. And this is part of the one from Jupiter. And it's one of the themes that we have. And we're going to end off with this last piece playing the theme song from The Planets from Jupiter.
Thank
All right, I think we're finally back. On stage in front of you this evening is our senior wind ensemble. This ensemble is made up of students in grades 11 and 12. We're going to open with a piece by Robert Buckley, a Vancouver composer. It's called Raven, the Trickster, and it was written for Douglas McCauley and the West Vancouver Youth Symphonic Band. And in the program notes here it says, and I want to read these to you here, music is uniquely human. It's our shared human language. Music can open doors, open minds, and allow us to experience the essence of another culture. Music can also be healing, and that is reflected in the Squamish language, where music and medicine are the same word. As work continues towards reconciling the past with the First Peoples of North America, it's also necessary to forge a shared path forward focused on our commonalities rather than our differences. Music seems like a very good place to start. Efforts are underway to include accurate Indigenous content in schools, and it's important that we seek and be granted permission from the creators and caretakers of these Indigenous stories and songs, art and music, before including or adapting them into our wider community. The Raven, this publication, began as a conversation with Squamish Nation cultural advisor and performer Bob Baker, who has generously agreed to share his songs from his oral tradition. This follows Bob Buckley's previous pieces, The Gathering of Eagles and Wolf Song, which I've performed in previous years, and is the third song that's been granted by the Squamish First Nation to expand into a concert band work. This is The Raven. Parade of the Tall Ships by Jay Chataway was written to commemorate Operation Sail 1976. This was the largest gathering ever of tall sailing ships from all over the world. This historic event took place July 4th, 1976 in the New York Harbor. Jay Chataway was a longtime composer in residence for the United States Navy Band and currently spends his free time as the captain of his own sailboat, Ragtime. This is Parade of the Tall Ships. Romanesque by James Swearingen. James Swearingen, he's been around for years. If you took a band class at all in middle school or high school, especially like in the 90s, if you're my age, which the kids think is really old, which isn't really old, you probably played a piece by James Swearingen. He's been composing for bands really since the 1970s, and he was the first sort of guy to really start making money at it. And he's got over 600 pieces written for concert bands, from beginning band up until, upper high school level, university level. He wrote Romanesque in the early 80s in an attempt to write a lyrical ballad-like piece for high school groups. The music at the time for high school groups was predominantly marches, Philip Sousa marches, and orchestral transcriptions. So this piece ended up becoming sort of a staple in the concert band repertoire. I've done it lots. It's a great piece at the beginning of the year to work on musicality and listening and blend and all those things. So this is James Swearingen's Romanesque. Just before we begin our last piece, just a couple of things we need to take care of. First of all, a ton of thank yous that I want to make sure I get to tonight. First of all, to my amazing admin team here at Graham and all the outstanding staff, CUPE staff, secretarial staff, custodians, everybody in the building. We're so lucky to be here at Graham, and I'm so lucky to work with such an amazing, supportive staff. So thank you to them. To the parents that are here tonight, you have no idea how good it feels to be up here. So I want to thank you for coming out this evening, for sharing in our evening with us, and for supporting their love of music, right? For supporting their love of music, for kicking their butts when they need to be kicked, and for loving them when they need to be loved. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys, without you guys, I'm literally nothing. Right? So thank you to all the students who performed tonight, the junior jazz band, the orchestra, the senior wind ensemble on stage, and then everybody who's going to perform again tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we've got our senior jazz band, our junior concert band, and the debut of the first ever concert choir here at GW Graham, so we're excited for that one. And last but not least, back up there in the booth, Mr. Foltz and his live streaming crew. Not only this year, but last year as well. We couldn't share what we're doing with everybody if it wasn't for Mr. Foltz and his crew. This year he's got a dedicated team of students. They're doing all our band concerts. They're doing volleyball games. They're doing football games. Whatever else we can do to make Mr. Foltz insane. I think we're going to hit them all this year. So thank you, Mr. Foltz. How about a big round of applause for Mr. Foltz and his live streaming crew? And our amazing admin team wants to give away some prizes. We've never given away prizes at a band concert before. I'm so excited. As you came in, and thank you for just following all sort of the guidelines and restrictions and everything that allows us to make this happen. But as you came in, you had your ticket, and we have your name and your phone number. We're going to use that for contact tracing if we need to. Fingers crossed we won't have to. But we're going to do some draws. I have two coveted GW Graham Grizzlies t-shirts, and the grand prize from Mr. Lawson himself, the big man who's not here tonight, a hoodie. Here we go. So Mr. Gibbs, you want to bring that basket over? Quaid, can you grab my sweet prizes over there? All right, here we go.
And while I'm up there, can we just give a big round of applause for Mr. Monkman and Mr. Jazz? The work that they do with your children and our students is just amazing. Right? And we just thank you guys. We thank you both for everything that you do.
I tell the kids, but don't tell the admin this, I'd actually do this job for free. Like, I don't work a day in my life. I've got to, for the past 15 years now at Graham, come to school and make music with incredible students. And I get to do it every year, and I get to share it with you guys, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So I feel so lucky and so fortunate to be here, and so lucky and so fortunate to work with all these kids. The only time it's ever work is when we have report cards. But other than that, like aside from like those 4 times a year, it's really great. It's really good. Report cards aren't my favorite though. Okay, let's give away some prizes. All right, our first, you want to hold that up so they can see that? Coveted GW Graham t-shirt. Can I get a drum roll? I don't know. Peter Herman. Peter Herman. We got Peter Herman in the house. All right, he's coming down. You want to go give it to him? You could be you're like my assistant. Jess is amazing. All right. You guys, you want to pick one? No? Yeah? Huh? Here we go. Our second coveted GW Graham Grizzlies t-shirt. It is the same shirt. They're different sizes, though. And if the sizes don't fit, we can find one that will fit for you. I just grabbed some general stuff from the office. We'll go Braden. Sorry. You're really good at that. Chad Hudson. Chad Hudson. Hey, that's your dad. And the reason you all came to the concert, right here, okay? It's almost as good as the 50-50 last night at the Canucks game, which turned out to be just shy of $500,000. I didn't win, but I tried. Hold that bad boy up. Go! Sally Edlund. Sally Edlund. Sally? There we go. All right. That was fun. Come back tomorrow night, win more prizes. Hey, what do you got to lose? Yeah. Is this how Bob Barker feels? Is there a giant wheel we can spin somewhere and give away? Yeah, now we're talking. All right. All right, thanks so much, you guys. Again, we really appreciate you coming out tonight. Hope you have a safe evening. We're going to close with a composition by Stephen Reinecke. It's called River of Life, and it was his debut composition. And we've done a bunch of Reinecke's stuff. This was his debut composition in 1995, and it's really the piece that propelled him onto the concert band scene, and he's now got dozens of pieces that are staples in high school band rooms across the country. River of Life, not River of Lice. That sounds terrible. River of Life's going to take us on a journey of a single drop of water as it begins in a calm stream. It's quickly pulled by the twists and turns of the raging river. Thanks again for coming out. Have a wonderful evening, and this is River of Life.
Welcome to our first.
Thank you so much again for coming out this evening. Hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow night. If not, we'll hopefully see you in December for our Christmas concert. So take care, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you.